We gather here simply, directly, on this second Sunday of Advent. And perhaps the best statement of what Advent is to be is given to us by Paul's letter to the church at Philippi. And this is my prayer, that your love may increase more and more in knowledge, in every kind of perception, to discern what is of value, so that you may be pure and blameless for the day of Christ. That is Advent. That our prayer and God's prayer would be one. That our love might increase more and more. That we might have perception of what is of value. And find ourselves pure and blameless before the Lord. That really is it. I want to say a few more words about Advent. Some comments about our second player, John the Baptist, and a couple of reflections on George Herbert Walker Bush. Advent. We see the words. We hear them. Waiting. Watching. Be patient. These are not things that we are good at all. Try and get on and off the beltway and you'll find out what waiting looks like. It doesn't. Push the key on the computer and it says loading and please wait, and people are unhappy. We need faster download speeds. We need faster upload speeds. What is taking so long? Go to your favorite Giant or Safeway. If you're really in the mode, then you go to Eddie's, of course. Where there are shorter lines. That's why we go there, because they have tons of people and you can pick the thing up and move it for you. Then you won't have to wait in line. God forbid we have to wait. Why are we afraid of waiting? What is it in us that causes this sense of frustration? What exactly is it we're rushing to? Or more importantly, what is it we're rushing from? That we cannot be at peace waiting. Watching. It's an incredible challenge. You know, in comparing Advent and Lent, they're kind of our two penitential seasons, and they both sort of have this purple-blue color. It seems to me Lent is the really heavy lifting part on our part. We're supposed to do a whole lot during Lent. I would argue that the heavy lifting in Advent is on God's part. And we're supposed to wait and watch. It becomes heavy lifting because it's such a challenge for us to do that. Let alone add on that there might be silence while we wait and watch. But that really is the challenge. To be present to what God has done, what God is doing, and what God has in mind for us. A promise. Advent, it seems to me, is really three major movements. The first are the Old Testament prophets, particularly Isaiah, and today we have Baruch. Baruch was a contemporary of Jeremiah. He was written down, he was the scribe for Jeremiah. And so it's quite clear that he would have been there with Jeremiah in 586 when Jerusalem fell. The northern kingdoms had fallen in 722, and so now there was no more promised land. There was no more temple. And still, Baruch and Isaiah could trust in the promise and write such extraordinary lines as we hear in both of them, but from Baruch today, that indeed, up Jerusalem, look on the heights, and that indeed, the lofty mountains will be made low, and the age-old depths and gorges be filled to level ground, that Israel may advance secure in the glory of God, and that the trees fragrant of every kind will be overshadowed. And we know the prophecies of Isaiah, that the people who have walked in darkness will see great light. How do you hold on to that when you see everything that the people have done is completely destroyed and you're being carried off into exile? Their faith was so certain in God, unmovable, that the promise would return. And so while distraught by the experience of the destruction of the people and of the kingdom and the final fall of Jerusalem, there still was hope. Hope was always there. It was never lost. And in their words, never lessened. It was held up with the glory of God. The first movement. Today and next Sunday really focused on John the Baptist, our second major player in Advent prophet. And then obviously that last Sunday now switches to Mary and the direct preparation for that birth. But there are three major players in what we have. So I said I wanted to say some things about John the Baptist. There's much to be said about John the Baptist. An extraordinary figure. The first is before he ever spoke. Remember the scene of the visitation. Mary comes to Elizabeth. And John the Baptist leaps in joy in the womb because Christ is so close. Christ has not spoken to John the Baptist. There's been no communication on that level that we can humanly see. But what an extraordinary moment is, before John takes his first breath, he's already leaping for joy because of the presence of God. I think that comes as our first challenge. Are we people of joy? Or are we people of despair? It's the same set of values. Baruch and Isaiah had a whole lot more to despair about. Everything was destroyed, torn down, and they're carried off into exile in Babylon. Reason for despair. And yet we hear, prepare the way of the Lord, that the lofty mountains may be torn down and the valleys filled in, that there would be a highway for God to enter. A choice for joy. That's what Advent invites us to. A choice for joy. And it is a choice given our experience. That much is immoral, much isn't working, much is broken down, suffering is real. It's called sin, folks, and it's not new. It's been around a few years. And yet we're called to joy, as was John the Baptist. The second line is almost hidden in the gospel. It says, the word comes to John, son of Zechariah, in the desert. He is waiting and watching and preparing in the silence of the desert. You know, elsewhere it talks about him eating wild locusts and honey, and I'm sure he didn't shower very much, and I'm sure he wasn't particularly well kept, and you didn't want him sitting next to you here at Carmel today. I got you. He was good at waiting. He was at peace with himself and his role. He was good at watching. And eventually he will ask the key question of Advent for us. When he sends his disciples, are you the one? Or shall we expect another? That question is for us. Is Christ the one coming to us? Or do we really think we're expecting another? And of course, he is the herald that calls us to that preparation. Prepare the way of the Lord. And a baptism of repentance. Always recognizing that he must decrease so that Christ, the light, will increase. Such certainty in a role. We should be just as certain of our role. To be those people of joy. To be those people who are content to wait. I invite you, for many of us, to think back to when you were a younger person. Much younger. and you're anticipating the particular gift at Christmas. It was the anticipation of waiting that really drove weeks and weeks. And it may not have even been quite as great when you got it as it was the preparation of waiting and anticipation that it would happen and that it would come. That's the experience we're to have. And to be willing to share that with others directly. The real challenge to Christianity today, my friends, isn't that people so much reject it. The challenge is apathy. People don't care. Satan wins on apathy. Doesn't matter. Why bother? Who cares? It is not by accident that the scriptures say, the lukewarm I shall vomit forth from my mouth. Be people of passion. Passionate about waiting. You don't need to do anything. That's why I said Advent is the heavy lifting on God's part. Look in the wilderness of your heart and prepare that one. Lastly, obviously, we are all touched, I think, this week by the ceremonies and the burial of George Herbert Walker Bush. And what's great about it is you get to this point in his life, and it really isn't about politics anymore. It's not about policies. It's not about, he got done in when he said, read my lips, no more taxes. That really did him in. But whether you agree with the politics or not isn't the point. It's the celebration of a life and a man who clearly was a man of faith, a man of family, and a man of integrity. And if that's what all it says on our tombstones, that she was a person of faith, a person of integrity, what else do we need? A person of kindness. What better wish and hope and proclamation could we have about ourselves than that? And so, of course, he called America, and he calls us, as Advent does, to be kinder and gentler. He dreamed of an America where it was kinder and gentler. And believe me, as we all know so well, that has not been fulfilled. In fact, it's the opposite. Derision, divide are the norm. I can tell you what is not of Advent. I punch you harder. It's mine, you can't have it. We have it, you can't come in. Non-Advent, non-Christian symbols. And he was also made fun of and mocked roundly for having perhaps suggested poetically or with an idea that we could be 1,000 points of light. We may not be 1,000 points of light, but I think we could be 100. Will you let that light shine of kindness and gentleness? And not with the pushing, the shoving, the tearing, the judging. If you can't be friends deeply with the Trump supporter, you are not Christian. Period. It can't be only the people we like. If you can't be friends with whomever you see on the other side, with gentleness, with compassion, then the light will not shine. If we can't be friends with the immigrant as well as our neighbor, with the rich and the poor and the black and the white, all the Isaiah prophecies of the antithetical pieces that come together in harmony. If we're sitting back and waiting for God to do it, then we're not Advent people. We must allow God to enter in and help us be kinder and more compassionate, and help us be points of light. Because in the end, we know that Advent is that great prayer of Paul to the church at Philippi. I pray that your love may increase more and more, that you may discern with all your perception what is of value, and be ready and blameless on the day of Christ. Happy Advent.